Almost a decade before Marvel struck gold with Jon Favreau's Iron Man, New Line Cinema discovered the first major MCU hit in the form of this horror classic in 1998. The first Blade movie, written by David S. Goyer and directed by Steve Norrington, starred Wesley Snipes in the titular role of the vampire hunter, and this movie was a huge hit with the fans. We all loved the lightning-fast narrative and the innovative action sequences, and the movie marked a major milestone in the vampire horror genre as well. However, the overwhelming success of the franchise wouldn't have been possible had it not been for the brilliance of the cast of the original. Have you ever wondered where they are now and what they're up to? Well, in this video, you'll find all your answers as we dive into the careers and personal lives of the Blade actors since the release of the movie. Before we get into our explanation though, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Wesley Snipes as Blade. The veteran actor Wesley Trent Snipes needs no introduction, and this American actor and martial artist has enjoyed a career that's enough to warrant him the status of Hollywood legend. This Florida-born actor found his calling in acting at a pretty early age, and his film debut came back in 1986 with the movie Wildcats opposite Goldie Hawn. He also had a small but effective part in the popular TV series Miami Vice, and he slowly moved up the ranks with movies like Sugar Hill, One Night Stand, and many others. By the time he was cast as Blade, he was already a known face, and the movie became his largest commercial success. Since then, he starred in the other two movies in the Blade franchise, and his stardom was widely acknowledged. His other notable projects following the success of Blade include The Contractor, Gallow Walkers, and Game of Death. Also, who can forget his epic performance in The Expendables 3 and Dolomite Is My Name. He even reprised his role as Blade after almost 20 years in the Marvel Studios film Deadpool and Wolverine. Although he's been a part of several famed projects, we still can't get over his Blade persona, and he was obviously the perfect fit for the part. He's been training in martial arts since the age of 12, and his skills came in handy for the franchise as he performed his own stunts effortlessly. His personal life, however, did encounter some controversy following the success of the Blade franchise. He found himself in some legal hassle in South Africa, where he was allegedly found to possess a counterfeit South African passport. Later, he faced 28 months in federal prison because of some tax discrepancies. His legal troubles continued, but luckily for him, so did his acting career. We're all excited to see more of him in the crypto drama Paper Empire, which is his ongoing project. Kristofferson as Abraham Whistler. Blade was never short on star power when it came to the cast, and the inclusion of the legendary Kristofferson is big proof of that. He was probably the most popular cast member during the time, as he had not only made a mark in his acting career, but also had a lucrative opportunity as a member of the country music supergroup, the Highwaymen. In fact, it was his music that first brought him to the limelight after a brief career in the Army and as a firefighter. After his debut in the 1971 film titled The Last Movie, he had some resounding hits like Cisco Pike, A Star is Born, and Heaven's Gate, which made him a familiar face for cinema lovers during the 70s. After dedicating some time to music, Kristofferson made a movie comeback with Lone Star in 1996, and his performance in the Blade trilogy only added to his crazy popularity. He then went on to star in movies like Fire Down Below, Tim Burton's remake of Planet of the Apes, A Soldier's Daughter Never Cries, The Jacket, Payback, and Fast Food Nation. He aged like fine wine and continued his musical career and acting career simultaneously. With 3 Grammy Awards and numerous acting hits to his name, Kristofferson will always be remembered as an all-around performer throughout his career. He announced his retirement in 2021, citing age and COVID-19 pandemic concerns, and he finally breathed his last on the 28th of September, 2024. He has 8 children, and some of them have even taken up acting and musical careers of their own. Stephen Dorff as Deacon Frost. Before Stephen Dorff became a household name for his acting prowess, he had already made a mark as a child actor when he appeared in the cult horror film The Gate as a teenager. However, his real claim to fame moment came after he was cast as Stuart Sutcliffe in Backbeat back in 1994. He was also a familiar face on television, where he appeared in programs like Different Strokes, Family Ties, Roseanne, and Blossom. His role opposite Patty Duke in the TV movie Always Remember I Love You is one of his better works. A year before starring as Deacon Frost in Blade, which many regard as one of his most popular roles, He also found some critical acclaim for his performance in Bob Raffleson's Blood and Wine. He followed up the success of Blade with a role in Earthly Possessions, and his role in the 2003 thriller Cold Creek Manor is also a talked-about project. He became a familiar face worldwide after starring in a Britney Spears music video, and his work in movies like Public Enemies and Blackwater Transit are also worth mentioning. In 2010, he found himself in the drama Somewhere opposite Elle Fanning, and this was a crucial role for him following the death of his mother. Among his more recent projects, we have to talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre prequel, Leatherface, in 2017, where he played the obsessed Texas Ranger Hal Hartman. We also liked his performance in the popular HBO series True Detective. His upcoming projects include Bride Hard and a television series, and at the age of 51, he still has a long way to go in his promising career. Donald Logue as Quinn. Anyone who's watched Blade will remember the cocky minion of Deacon Frost, Quinn, who is stronger and can sustain more serious injuries than lesser vampires. This role was played by Donald Francis Logue, a Canadian-American actor who was already a familiar face among movie and TV enthusiasts. His career took off during the early 90s, and after a few insignificant TV appearances, he found his first role in the 1992 film Sneakers. He then played a crucial role in the epic war film Gettysburg, and some of his other notable projects during the 90s are movies like Little Women, Jerry Maguire, The Patriot, and of course Blade. He even won the Sundance Film Festival's Special Jury Prize for his performance in The Tao of Steve in 2000. Donald Logue enjoyed a steady movie career following the success of Blade, and his next big projects included American Splendor, Zodiac, The Cloverfield Paradox, and more recently, Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. He also had some major TV appearances such as the sitcom Grounded for Life, and brief appearances on popular hits like House MD and The Dentist. He's all set to appear in the TV series called Duster, which releases on the 15th of May, 2025. We can expect many more years of acting brilliance from this talented actor, and it's fun to remember how far he's come since his work in Blade back in 1998. Sanaa Lathan as Vanessa. It's not surprising that Sanaa Lathan has taken up a very successful acting career, given that she's the daughter of famous actress Eleanor McCoy and director Stan Lathan. Her performance as the mother of Blade in the original movie, where she plays Vanessa Brooks, is quite impressive, but many of you probably know her from before. She found some early TV roles in shows like In the House, NYPD Blue, and Family Matters, but her performance in Blade opened the floodgates for her in terms of opportunities. She followed it up with Life alongside Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy, and soon, The Best Man in the Wood made her a familiar name. She also earned some critical acclaim in the form of a multicultural comedy film called Catfish in Black Bean Sauce, and who can forget her role in Out of Time opposite the iconic Denzel Washington. Her other notable works include Alien vs. Predator and The Family That Prays. From Emmy nominations to popular hits, she delivered it all, including work on Wonderful World, The Perfect Guy, and Now You See Me Too. She also made her directorial debut with the movie On the Come Up in 2022. Her role in Succession won her a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Drama Series. Sanaa Lathan was last seen in a couple of episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and she's also lent her voice to a few video games over the years. As of now, her ongoing projects aren't known, but she still has a long way to go before she calls it quits. Udo Kier as Dragonetti. Udo Kier is a seasoned character actor, and this talented artist of German origin has starred in over 220 films in various capacities. His career kicked off back in the mid-1960s when he was cast in the lead role for the movie Road to St. Tropez. He was also a part of Andy Warhol's Frankenstein, and over the years, Udo Kier has been cast in various art house, low-budget, and mainstream horror flicks. Aside from his role in Blade, he also featured in Die Einstiger, Modern Vampires, Shadow of the Vampire, Dracula 3000, and Blood Rain. To his credit, Udo Kier has always been a director's favorite, and he found himself working with some of the finest directors of his time, such as Alexander Payne, Guy Maddin, Gus Van Sant, Werner Herzog, and Paul Morrissey. His other notable works include Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Barbed Wire, Armageddon, and Johnny Mnemonic. A few of Madonna's music videos have also featured him, and aside from his acting credentials, Udo Kier is also known for his voice acting skills. He moved to California in 1991 and has remained in the US ever since. He happens to be gay, but Udo Kier is pretty open about his sexual orientation. As of now, he's all set to appear in The Ark, an Iron Sky story, and his last known work is the film By Design, which premiered at the Sundance Film Festival. The film industry just wouldn't be the same without character actors like Udo Kier. And Bbush Wright as Dr. Karen Jensen. If you need us to refresh your memory on the role of Bbush Wright in Blade, she played Dr. Karen Jensen, a hematologist who was bitten by a vampire. She stayed close to Blade in order to stay safe and tried to find a cure for the condition. Dr. Jensen turned out to be a valuable ally in his fight against Deacon Frost and his minions. Before starring in Blade, which is probably one of her biggest hits over the years, she got a few opportunities to showcase her acting talents. She starred in Anthony Drazen's Zebrahead, and later, her portrayal of a drug-addicted character in Boaz Yakin's Fresh was spot on and earned her some critical acclaim. She also starred in Dead Presidents in 1995 before her breakthrough role in Blade. Her career didn't really take off following Blade like it was supposed to, and she worked in movies like Three Strikes, Civil Brand, Eight-Legged Freaks, and a few other minor projects that were nowhere near the blockbuster that was Blade. Some shows like Widows, Platinum, and Chappelle's Show also featured her, and not many are aware of the fact that Bbush is also a trained dancer besides being a talented actress. We hope to see more of the 55-year-old in key roles that do justice to her talent, and hopefully the next few years are good for her career. Matt Schultz as Kreese. Matt Schultz became a pretty big name in the industry over the years, but he was an unknown face when he was first cast in Blade, his debut project. His role in the movie opened up new avenues for him, and the very next year, he found himself in a lead role in the film Dementia by Udo Kier. He went on to work in a teen comedy titled Boys and Girls, and Matt was also included in Downward Angel. His biggest break, perhaps, wasn't Blade, but his role in The Fast and the Furious. He also returned for Blade's sequel, where he played the blood pack vampire assassin Chupa. His other notable works include The Transporter, Torque, The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things, Seven Mummies, and Final Movie. Besides his film appearances, Matt Schultz quickly became a popular face on television, courtesy of his roles in CSI Miami and Law & Order Special Victims Unit, both of which were huge hits, even though his roles were limited. His other major roles following his debut in Blade were two films, The Flock and Mr. Brooks, with his own web series film The Acquirer also receiving a lot of appreciation. We all loved it when he returned to reprise his role as Vine in the 5th installment of the Fast and Furious franchise. He hasn't been particularly active in the last few years, but given that he's only 52 years old, we might get to see a lot more of him in the future. Tim Guinea as Dr. Curtis Webb. There are many stage actors who slip into the realm of the unknown, but that wasn't the case for Tim Guinea. He quickly made a mark in some key movies and TV shows, which ensured that he became a household name through the late 90s and the early 2000s. The role of Dr. Curtis Webb in Blade might have been a rather minor part, but he still made an impact with the performance. He's best known by many for his role as Toman in the TV series Stargate SG-1 and later the series Hell on Wheels. Among his notable cinematic presence, we can recall his roles in Iron Man and Iron Man 2 in the MCU, where he played Major Allen of the U.S. Air Force. In recent years, we loved his work as a struggling father and retired Major Clay Wilson in the TV series The Punisher. Besides being a talented actor, Tim Guinea also happens to be a cancer survivor, and he works as a volunteer firefighter. Currently, he lives with his wife Daisy Foote in Marbletown, New York, in the Hudson Valley. Arlie Hover as Mercury. This Spanish actress wanted to become a dancer when she was young, but fate had other plans for her, even though she trained as a dancer for much of her teenage life. After moving to the US to study at the School of American Ballet, she found her first calling in acting, where she was given a role in the TV show Women, Stories of Passion. She also worked in a couple of international films, Tango and The Ballad of Johnny Jane. Her American film debut came in Blade, where she aced the role of Mercury, the vampire lover of Deacon Frost. She was an alluring presence, captivating the audience with her charms. She followed it up with several small film and TV roles, and later, she moved to France, which gave her the opportunity to star in the film Empire of the Wolves alongside Jean Reno. As of now, Arlie Jover still lives in Paris with her daughter, while her family still lives in Mallorca, where she visits yearly. Her work in the entertainment industry seems to have taken a back seat at the moment, but she can still make a comeback in the future if she so wishes. Tracy Lords as the seductive vampire. Tracy Lords had a rather small role at the beginning of the movie, but the impact of her performance was such that she's still remembered alongside the rest of the cast. She had quite a major turnaround in her career after starting off as an adult film actress, and changing course completely when she was only 20 years old. She then took the movie and TV industry by storm, and her acting credits include projects like MacGyver, Tales from the Crypt, Gilmore Girls, Highlander the series, and many others. Films like Skinner, Virtuosity, Blade, and Excision are some of the highest moments of her career. Tracy Lords also pursued a musical career briefly, and currently, she's busy with her fashion career and directorial ventures. Tracy Lords has come a long way since her days in the adult film industry, but we still remember her surprise appearance in Blade and how it got things rolling. Marvelous verdict! The Blade 1998 cast will always be remembered. At the beginning of this video, we spoke briefly about the importance of Blade in the vampire horror genre. The movie not only proved to be a major breakthrough for Wesley Snipes, but also provided huge opportunities for some actors who were just starting out. On the other hand, it also cast legendary actors who were already at the peak of a successful career. This unique mix of actors and the brilliant casting resulted in an unparalleled performance, the likes of which are rare to find. It's always fun to check out some of their other works and find out what they've been up to over the last 2 decades, and we hope we were able to sate your curiosity in that regard with this video. Do let us know in the comments down below what you think of the cast of the original Blade movie, and who your favorite is from the list, as well as who do you think turned out to be the biggest wasted opportunity. Also, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Otherwise, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.